The shadows of conflict stretch long across Eastern Europe, a chilling testament to the volatile state of affairs. The rumble of Russian military activity isn't just distant thunder anymore. It's a tangible threat, a palpable tension that grips the very air around Poland and its neighboring nations. The specter of miscalculated aggression hangs heavy as Russian missiles and drones probe ever closer to NATO's borders. What happens when these probes become overt attacks? This is not just a regional skirmish. This has the potential to unleash catastrophic repercussions. Prepare yourselves as we examine a series of escalations that have put nations on the edge. Before we delve into these events, know that we'll be analyzing this entire situation, and the concluding analysis will be unveiled at the end. So stay with us until the final moment. Chapter 1, The Edge of the Abyss, 7,000 Signs. In this video, we are going to explore 5 crucial chapters that delve into the escalating tensions between Russia and Poland, and the subsequent ripple effects on the NATO alliance. The first chapter focuses on the growing unease within Poland. The war in Ukraine has had a profound, inescapable impact on its neighbor Poland. It's not just the humanitarian crisis. The very air around Polish borders seems to vibrate with the potential for escalating conflict. The Russian military strategies, once seemingly distant threats, are now palpable realities. Poland, standing as a sentinel on NATO's eastern flank, finds itself increasingly in the crosshairs. The Ukrainian conflict has unveiled a pattern of Russian air violations, a tactic of probing and testing the resolve of its neighbors. The constant stream of news about missile strikes, drone incursions, and airspace breaches has created a palpable sense of vulnerability in the country. NATO, a vital observer in this intricate geopolitical chess match, is closely scrutinizing these developments, acutely aware of the potential for miscalculation. The Ukrainian army's tenacious defense has pushed Russian forces into an uncomfortable position, leading to increased violations. These actions are not random. They are designed to push boundaries, to probe for weak spots, and to force a response from NATO. The most recent violation, occurring near Poland's border, is not an isolated incident. It is the culmination of a series of provocations designed to test the alliance's resolve. The question remains: how far will Russia push before crossing a line that ignites a wider conflict? The implications of these Russian actions extend far beyond Poland. They are shaking the delicate balance of power and forcing a re-evaluation of security protocols throughout Europe. The urgency for a decisive response is clear. The specter of escalation looms large over the continent. Chapter 2, Airspace Under Fire, 7,000 Signs. The second chapter will detail the very specific incidents that have led to the escalation of this crisis. The most recent violation involved a direct missile attack on Ukraine during a Christmas morning raid. Cities like Kyiv, Dnipro, Kremenchuk, and Ivano-Frankivsk were all targets of these attacks. Poland, reacting swiftly, scrambled its fighter jets, demonstrating the country's readiness to protect its airspace. But this is not a new response to a novel threat. Through the course of the war, Russian missiles and attack drones have been repeatedly encroaching on Polish airspace, whether intentional or not. The Polish Armed Forces Operations Command has confirmed that fighter jets were activated and ground-based air defense systems were placed on high alert. These responses are considered standard procedure when threats are detected in close proximity to Polish borders. This specific scenario highlights the ongoing reality of Polish airspace being at risk. Such an incursion happened back on November 15, 2022, when a missile, potentially an anti-aircraft weapon from Ukraine, tragically landed in Przewodzów, a village in the Lublin province, near the Ukrainian border. The horrific result was the death of 2 individuals working at a grain drying plant. This event dramatically shifted perceptions of the war, making it clear that the conflict was, in fact, dangerously close. Further violations followed, the second happening on December 16th of the same year, with a Th-55 cruise missile, reportedly without a warhead, crossing a significant portion of Polish territory. The missile, which was later discovered near the town of Zamość, highlighted the ease with which Russian weaponry could penetrate NATO's borders. This is what created a perfect storm, leading to political upheaval and public scrutiny. The discovery of these remains in April by an unwitting passerby led to demands for the resignation of Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak. Chapter 3, Political turmoil and shifting alliances, 7,000 signs. Chapter 3 will delve into the political and strategic implications behind these airspace violations. The accusations leveled against Błaszczak, accused of hiding the Russian missile incursion, fueled a storm of media coverage and political division. The opposition argued that the minister actively covered up the incident. Błaszczak, in response, claimed he was not informed of the matter until months after the fact. However, Deputy Defense Minister Cezary Tomczyk revealed in March 2024 that Błaszczak, as head of the Defense Ministry, knew of the event as early as December 16th and received a report the next day. Błaszczak continued to deny these accusations. These incidents were only the tip of the iceberg. Public reports have documented that Polish airspace was violated on 2 more occasions amid Russia's aggression against Ukraine. On December 29, 2023, an unidentified aerial object crossed from the Ukrainian border into Polish airspace. This object was tracked by radar until the signal disappeared, and this was followed by another incursion on March 24, 2024, when a Russian long-range missile flew into Polish airspace in the Ozerów region for 39 seconds. Most recently, a Shahed drone was detected over the Ukrainian city of Chono, confirmed by 3 radar stations during a Russian airstrike. The object, believed to be an IHA, was last seen after traveling 25 km into Poland. These repeated violations have fueled anger within the Warsaw government. The government is now advocating for much tougher measures against Putin's military. Despite NATO's initial hesitations, Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski has asserted that Poland and other border nations are obligated to shoot down Russian missiles before they enter their airspace. Sikorski made it clear that while NATO membership is important, each nation is first and foremost responsible for the security of its own airspace. Chapter 4: Defensive Measures and Strategic Shifts, 7,000 Signs. The 4th chapter analyzes the measures Poland is taking to counter the Russian threat and the development of its defense infrastructure. This includes a bilateral security agreement between Poland and Ukraine, which is focused on the possibility of intercepting missiles and drones in Ukrainian airspace. The interception process is conducted according to protocols agreed upon by relevant states and organizations. However, this offer was rejected by outgoing NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, who stated that the alliance risked direct involvement in the war. Sikorski insisted on Poland's right to intervene following the suspected Russian drone incident on August 26th, highlighting the increased risk of loss of life if interceptions occur closer to Poland. Some Western officials worry that such a policy may blur the red lines of Western intervention, possibly leading to retaliation. Kyiv has strongly supported greater Western intervention, even including air defense cover over Western Ukraine from NATO-based batteries. They have also called for a no-fly zone, which has been continually rejected by NATO on the grounds that it may cause direct conflict with Russian forces. Currently, Poland is working to counter Russian aggression by airlifting fighter jets while simultaneously building out their missile defense facilities. Poland is attempting to create a protective umbrella over its Eastern European territories as a response to Putin's tyranny. The Aegis Ashore ballistic missile defense facility, located in Redzikowo, Poland, finally became operational in September 2023 after years of construction delays. The facility was handed to the U.S. Navy in October 2023 for operational use. The Aegis Ashore Poland site will operate under NATO Allied Air Command in Germany, helping to coordinate NATO's ballistic missile defense systems. It will also reinforce the alliance's commitment to an integrated air and missile defense, a mission designed to protect the territory, citizens, and forces of NATO member states against all air and missile-based threats. Chapter 5: The Drone Wall and Unforeseen Consequences, 7,000 Signs. The final chapter will explore a possible conclusion of the situation with an unexpected twist and look into the potential implications of new technology. The Aegis Ashore facility in Poland is the second of its kind, with the first operational in Romania since 2016. Both of these sites share the same core configurations, which include elements taken from the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer design and moved to a land-based arrangement. This includes a deck house, modeled after the Arleigh Burke's main structure, containing the crucial Aegis combat system and SPY-1 radar. The system also includes an above-ground structure that contains a collection of Mk-41 vertical launch systems. These systems are designed to neutralize ballistic missiles outside the Earth's atmosphere using a kinetic kill vehicle, a system designed to neutralize missiles on impact without the use of traditional explosive warheads. New versions of the SM-3 missile are currently being developed in cooperation with Japan, significantly larger and more advanced. There has also been discussion of adding new interceptors to the Aegis Ashore system, especially in light of growing concern about hypersonic weapons. Other possible interceptor options include the SM-6 and the glide phase interceptor, which is currently under development. While there has also been talk of adding Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles to the Aegis Ashore facilities, these discussions have always been met with denials by the US government. This has always been prohibited under the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, INF, which was in effect until 2018. The loss of this treaty raises the possibility of new long-range cruise missile threats across Europe. This entire operation is seen as an important milestone for this project, which has been ongoing for the past 14 years, and the origins go even further back to the early 2000s, when plans for a ground-based medium-range defense system were first envisioned. These installations are viewed by Russia with apprehension. Russian officials have sharply criticized these developments, labeling them as threats to Russian national security. Despite Russia's concerns, NATO is trying to push back against Russian aggression, not just in Poland, but across all of Eastern Europe, including Romania. Romania has suffered its fair share of violations because of its 650-kilometer border with Ukraine and its proximity to the Danube River ports, which are frequent targets of Russian attacks. The first confirmed violation was in September of 2023, when Romanian authorities discovered the wreckage of a Russian drone, which was targeting infrastructure in Ukraine. Further violations occurred in December of 2023, and in March, July, and September of 2024. While these violations initially involved drone debris, they later became direct incursions into NATO airspace, most recently in October, when Russian drones once again violated Romanian airspace. While these violations have been labeled unintentional, NATO officials have been adamant that these are an escalation that must stop. Diplomatic actions and condemnations have not been enough to deter Russia's behavior, which now appears to be a calculated effort to test NATO's limits. Due to all of these factors, NATO has put into action an updated interception effort to counter Russian UAVs and missiles, as well as threats from Belarus. A new project has also been brought into the public eye, the UAV wall. The project was first mentioned by Lithuanian Interior Minister Agne Bilotaite. The Baltic states, Norway, Finland, and Poland are all planning to create a drone wall on the Russian border, an effort that is expected to span a total of 3,101 km. This will use drones and other technologies to protect the borders of the Baltic states.